Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Productivity Over Everything. I worked at a call center of nurses to give advice on whether the caller needed to go to the ER, GP, manage symptoms at home, etc. As it's health advice, it's crucial to document everything, because if someone was, for example, instructed to stay at home while exhibiting clear stroke symptoms, we'd be responsible. A new manager was hired, above our own floor manager, to increase productivity, as the number of calls increased rapidly at the beginning of 2020. She felt it was necessary to reduce the time we spent on finishing on documenting after the call had ended. In addition to medical records, we had to fill out a short questionnaire about each call to monitor the reasons people call us for internal purposes. So it obviously took a while. Average time, I think, was around 3 minutes after each call. The new manager informed us that 90 seconds was going to be enough, and she had asked the IT department to make the program push us a new call after those 90 seconds, whether we were ready or not. The call would ring loudly, first on headphones and after 10 seconds on the computer sound system. New patient information screen popped up. Everything unfinished was pushed to the back, and we had to either decline the call, only allow in emergencies, or let it ring and try and work over the ringing, which could not be muted. It was horrible. The noise was unbearable. And just in a few hours, we workers complained so much that the new manager just told us to take the new call and finish up the old one while talking to the new patient. Cue malicious compliance. Patient information law violations, here we come. Having two patients' info up at the same time, trying to figure out why they later called, and wrapping up the previous one. We tried. It was even worse than before. It took us about an hour to realize it would never work. And so we took the new call, asked them to wait for a second, muted the call, and finished up the previous one. The customers were not happy, but us workers gladly directed them to avenues to give feedback through. The company got so many bad reviews and online complaints in the first 6 hours that they had to regroup and stay late on that Monday evening to undo everything. We went back to normal on Tuesday, 2 hours later than we should have opened, due to reprogramming. The new manager was with us less than 3 months. I don't miss her a bit. The next story is called Emails Over Everything. I work for a very big company, but due to my specialty, my work is split across the main company and one of the smaller companies. The director of the main company allows my days to be split in half. The big company is very laid back when it comes to my work. As long as my work is done by the deadline date, they pretty much don't care what I do during the work week. In the smaller company, I report to the CEO. The CEO is most interested in what I do during the day. If I didn't know better, I'd say that the CEO thinks that I don't work, but sit around playing computer games all day. CEO sends anything from 20 to 30 emails to me per day, and more than half will be the same question, just phrased differently. Each email response is usually anything from 2 to 5 typed pages. I have even had emails sent to me at 11 PM, and at 8:30 the following morning, an email asking why I haven't responded to the previous email. If I'm asked the same question multiple times, I ignore the majority of the emails and only answer the question once. When I'm working, I need to concentrate, and most days I close my email client so that I'm not disturbed. Last Monday, I'm working quite happily, and I get a WhatsApp from the CEO asking me to please read an email and respond post-haste. I stop what I'm doing, as I get the sinking feeling that something bad is about to happen. As per usual, there are 30 emails from him. The first email starts off by stating, "You must always answer emails as quickly as possible, as it is unprofessional and shows disrespect to the writer of the email." So I stop what I'm doing and start to respond to each email individually, making sure that my answers to the same questions are different. I further indicate that I only work for him half day and will stop my work at exactly the middle of the workday. I spent the next day and a half responding to emails and not doing my work, even though there is a deadline looming for this little company. These days, when I walk into the office in the morning, the CEO seems to have spent the entire night responding to the emails and in the process dragging other members of staff into the email trail. And the email is getting so complex that I don't know what's going on. Yesterday I was expected to have finished the work, and when asked to present the outcome, I simply said that I had not finished. When asked why, my response was that I was so busy responding to emails, I wasn't able to do the work. The CEO lost his mind and started to threaten me with being fired. He said that there was a customer that was waiting for the result of my work. He then asked why I put emails above doing my work, and all I did was produce a copy of the email. My boss from the big company was also present, and all she did was laugh. She then told the CEO that I will no longer do any work for his company, and he must find somebody else. The third story is called Do What I Say. I had an incident in my old job at a manufacturing plant about 12 years ago. The building had two areas, a production and packaging area and an attached shipping and receiving warehouse. The production area was air conditioned and heated. The warehouse was heated, but only had roof exhaust fans and no AC, so it got pretty hot in the summer, but was bearable. We just moved slower. On the end of Friday, we closed all the dock doors and shut off the exhaust fans, and closed the overhead door that separated the warehouse from the production areas. During the week, the overhead was open, but had those plastic flap strips to keep the cool air in production. On Friday, the newish manager, who spent little actual time in that building, told us that we should keep the fans on and the separation overhead door open during the weekend to keep the temperature cooler in the warehouse. We tried to explain to him that with the dock doors closed, the roof fans would simply suck all of the cold air out of the production area. He blew us off with the standard, "You will do as I instructed you to do." Monday comes that morning in July, and it was extremely hot in the production area. The warehouse was the same temperature as always, and the coils on the production AC units had frozen, and we had to have people to come out and service them. All the manager had to say was, "Keep the separation overhead door closed at all times." The last story is called Monthly Sheets. This beautiful country of ours has a fairly low population density generally. However, it has layer upon layer of civil servants and bureaucracy. We have a beautiful system of government, where we have 2 houses and a representative for every 30,000 people as a fact of law. Underneath that, we have a local government system, with local authorities in each county and city, each with their own elected councillors and administration. Planning, fire safety, roads, refuse collection, and some other things are administered by these local councils, which leads to the public service being the largest employers in the country. While working for one such local authority, as a senior executive engineer, a fire officer, my good friend, an extremely intelligent civil engineer, had the misfortune of being gifted with a new boss, a spanking clean, brand new in box county engineer in his first role in that position. Now, this particular county was landlocked by other counties and is particularly odd shape, with a brand new motorway going through it. There are many parts of the county that the only way to get by road is through other counties. Most staff use their own cars, and once a month you filled out your mileage sheets, send it to your direct line manager for sign-off, who sent it up the chain and claimed it back at a rate of so much per mile. It was often a nice addition to the paycheck and more than covered the cost of maintaining and running the vehicle. If you crossed your administration's boundary, you had to fill out another sheet explaining why and get it signed off by your line manager. Under their previous boss, they had devised a system where no one had to bother with their mileage sheets on a monthly basis and could let it slide for a few months and then submit them all together and get a nice bonus in one lump sum. Nice if you had a special occasion or a holiday coming up. An easy savings plan, if you will. No one bothered with the second sheet. Because you crossed the boundaries so many times a week, the day became irrelevant. Q, new boss's arrival, who insisted on doing everything by the book. Didn't like the way that things worked previously, and was going to sort it all out. Straighten out everything and kick everyone into line. He called everyone into a meeting, explained what he was doing in his best authoritative manner, and insisted on monthly submissions of all expenses and mileage sheets, and everything listed down to the finest detail, including reasons for your trips, etc. And they had to be explained fully and in detail. Otherwise, the mileage sheets would be sent back unsigned. My friend and the rest of the staff ran away from the meeting, wondering how they were going to deal with this new way of working. After a few days of stewing, my friend came up with a solution to the issue, and then called his workmates. They had a little discussion amongst themselves about how to deal with things, and came up with a plan. Everyone under the direction of the new boss found that the extreme ends of the county is where they were needed to work that month. The staff then slightly redesigned all of their trips, so that they cross county boundaries multiple times a day, 6 days a week. At the end of month 1, this plan culminated with the submission of thousands of permission confirmation sheets to cross the county boundary, to be signed by the new manager after his first month. It took him over 4 weeks to get through that batch, and on week 4, after receiving the second month's batch, all the senior staff were called into a meeting, the agenda of which was kept very hush-hush. The only thing that ever came out of that meeting was a quiet word from the senior staff that everything was going back to the way it used to work. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.